Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Osama Sayyid. This is part 3 of You Don't Have to Be a Scholar to See that Mirza Ghulam was false. In part 2, the respected listeners heard some very shocking stuff from Mirza Ghulam's writings, where he draws direct comparisons between humility and the ejaculation from the penis, the man's genital. Now you, as I've completely explained earlier, you don't need to be a scholar to understand that this man is not from Allah. Now after hearing that point, just that point, and you fully understood it, you would probably be saying, if you're a fair person, you'd probably be saying, there's really not even any further point. There's no point in even checking or listening to anything these Ahmadi missionaries are going to say to you. What? You're going to start telling me about Khatim and Khatam and Khatim and the seal of prophethood has not been broken by Mirza Ghulam, and Jesus is alive or is he dead, and what's your viewpoint on that? Or what's your viewpoint on the Dajjal, and are you confused, and all this kind of thing. Now people, all of that is irrelevant. You can give your answers to that, of course. You can read it, you can check and everything, but all of that's irrelevant. Will the answers, talking about Jesus as being dead or alive, or giving a long-winded explanation of how the seal of prophethood hasn't been broken because Mirza Ghulam is a shadow prophet. He's a shadow prophet. He's not an independent. He's not a prophet on his own. He's not a guy on his own. He's some kind of hologram thing, right? I know I'm being a bit facetious right now, but that's the kind of long-winded explanation you're going to get. Does that nullify what Mirza's written? Would you be able to sleep at night saying 100% I am Ahmadi? I know Ahmadiyya is true, knowing what Mirza's written. Would you? If you fear Allah and you genuinely do care about Allah, and you're not just an Ahmadiyya just because you're born into it, or you're getting some kind of social benefit or some kind of benefit out of it, if you really fear Allah, you will say, no, I cannot sleep at night calling myself an Ahmadi. I want to call myself a Muslim only. Now, there are so many, as I say, there are really so many things. Inshallah, I'll be carrying on doing more and more audio recordings. There are so many things. And right now, I promise you, I'm not reading anything. I haven't got a paper in my hand or anything like that. This is all off the top of my head, because I want to talk to you as brothers and sisters in Islam and humanity. I'm going to talk to you as if I'm in the same room with you right now. I'm not going to be holding any papers or anything. I'll hold a paper when I need to give an exact quote of what I'm writing. But that's going to be on our website, islamafterahmadiyya.com. It's on our website, so you can see the actual wording there, word for word, of Mirza Ghulam's writings. Another big one is big point actually, which I was disgusted by, which actually I found before I left, and it played a big part, of course, when I left. It's Mirza Ghulam promised to write 50 volumes of these books that he claimed were defending Islam and establishing the dominance of Islam and the truthfulness of Islam. And he invited so many people to come and pay money. You're doing something good. After all, these people really thought, I guarantee you, these people were innocent. They really thought, we're doing a great thing here. This man is standing up. He's defending Islam. In India, it's a bit difficult. Of course, it's not an Arab country, so there's a lot of other religions there. They don't even speak Arabic. So it's very difficult there. These people, they were very happy. They gave a lot of money. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad never wrote the 50 books. He began making his advert to get the funding for the books 23 years prior to what I'm going to say to you now. So basically, 23 years later, he just completed the 5th volume. The 5th. Not the 50th, not the 15th, not the 45th. Just 5, when he promised 50. And you guys are going to be shocked now when you hear it, and I am not messing around with you. I'm going to tell you that he fooled or took his followers for absolute imbeciles. He took them for such fools that he said to them that the only difference between 5 and 50 is a dot, a nuqta. In Arabic, in Urdu, 0 is a dot. So in Urdu, the difference between 5 and 50 is that little dot after the 5. So therefore, check this out. Therefore, this is the bit that really is going to get to you, and it got to me. The therefore, the part where he goes like, therefore, my obligation has been fulfilled. So if I owe you £50,000, I just blow that last 0 off the £50,000, and I say to you, the only difference is a nuqta. So therefore, I only owe you £5,000, and my obligation to you is fulfilled. So don't come to me and start telling me I broke my word or whatever. This is exactly the same what Mirza Ghulam did to his followers. Now, would you accept me telling you I'll give you 5,000 instead of 50,000? No, you wouldn't. Mirza Ghulam said this to his followers. Took them for absolute fools. I mean, what kind of logic is that? There's only a dot. He thinks that's an answer, that's a reason. There's only a dot. That's not a reason. That's not a reason. That's not a valid reason. And when people ask for their refunds, he said, yeah, okay, send me back the books that I sent already, and I will give you your, I believe, paltry coins is the best way to describe it, because in Urdu, the best English word would be, I'll give you the paltry coins that you're dying for. Now look how he's talking, how he's treating people who honestly gave money to him, thinking he's defending Islam. They gave with such a good heart. They're most likely very honorable people, because you know, they did tadhiyah with their money, their mal, for the sake of Allah. And this man who claims to be a prophet of Allah, the promised Messiah, this term that they've made up there, and Mahdi and Jesus and all this, he's claimed to be all these things. He then responds to you by saying to you, here, take your paltry, and give me the old books, by the way, you can't even keep the books. Give me the books, and take your paltry coins that you're dying for. Again, my dear listeners, you don't need to be a scholar to realize what this man, to bring this evidence in front of a missionary or any of their imams in their mosques or whatever. You don't need to be a scholar to bring this point. You don't need to be very knowledgeable in hadith and Quran and fiqh and all this kind of thing. You don't need to. And this is the beauty of it, alhamdulillah, is that even if you're not religious people, if you yourself, dear listener, if you feel that you're not a religious person, as in you don't pray 5 times a day, or maybe you feel maybe you don't fast, or sometimes you fast, or something like that. But it doesn't mean, if you feel that you are not religious, it doesn't mean that you can't come to these missionaries and the Ahmadiyya organization and say to them, look, I don't need to be religious, because one day I may be religious. So while I am now, in my life right now, I can denounce Ahmadiyya because I don't want to remain in this falsehood, because I can see right now it's falsehood. Just because I'm not religious right now doesn't mean I can't declare this to be falsehood based on Mirza's writings. His writings very clearly show what kind of person he was. I don't want to follow this man. I don't want to call myself an Ahmadi. Because you don't know anyway how long you're going to live. You could die tomorrow, you could die in 50 years from now. But one day, if you do live, and one day you do become religious, well then at least be religious not on the false path. Be religious in Islam. And I'm not telling you even to go into another sect. Just be Muslim, because I'm just Muslim. I don't choose no sects. Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ did not have a sect. This is a very important point. Sayyidina Muhammad ﷺ did not have a sect. He was just Muslim. How could he have a sect when he just brought Islam from Allah? Allah gave him the Quran and told him spread the religion of Islam. He didn't say spread the Islam version of Shafi'i or Hanbali or whatever. He didn't tell him that. It was just Islam back then, and that's what I'm trying to follow in my life. And you people, if you leave Ahmadiyya, you don't have to follow a sect. Don't feel pressured that you have to follow or join a group. You can go to any mosque you like to pray in. Pray with all your brothers and your sisters. If you see bad things, you will see bad things. I've seen many bad things amongst Muslims, but that doesn't mean nothing. You just ignore that, because the message of Islam and Sayyidina Muhammad was a pure man. The Quran is the word of Allah, and it is the truth. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And we're very lucky to be Muslims. So please take that all on board and keep listening for my further part. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.